Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Winning Mondays with KW Malaysia. My name is Mariah. I'm the Regional Training Coordinator here. And I just want to welcome everyone onto our show today. A special hello to everyone on Zoom. I'm glad you guys could join us. And on Facebook Live, hello. And especially in Puchong. Where's our group in Puchong? I want to give you a big hello, guys. I'd love to see you guys all together. All right. So, we have had quite a week, right? Let's be honest, with the election yesterday or this weekend, we just had our election and everything. And also, some things that happened, some announcements last week. So, with the news of the changes in leadership in the past week, I think some of us might be feeling a bit lost or confused. Yeah, so, including myself, maybe some of us are feeling this way. Now, I know not all of you are feeling this way. I've had some conversations. Some of you are just very clear-minded. You know what you want to do. You're clear about your business and you just want to move forward and be the best that you can be. And I think that is awesome. And you are like an inspiration to us all, just excited for you all. That's great. But I think some of us might be looking for like a compass or a bit of guidance. Including myself. So I thought, I've been doing a lot of thinking, soul searching, and I thought I'd share with you, what I've come up with, for myself. At first I was searching, for all those like inspirational quotes and stories and all of that. But in the end, I ended up finding the most wisdom and encouragement when I came back to our own KW values and mission. So I want to share with you all. All right, hold on. So this is our values, right? God, family, then business. And I think when we put things in this order, right, we suddenly see that our ultimate leader is not the CEO or, our team leader or anything, and not even a human actually, but someone much greater, someone like a lot smarter, let's be honest. And someone who genuinely like cares very deeply for us. So I think when we put, if we look to God for our direction and our leadership, and we keep our family close to us, things become a lot clearer, right? And then that leaves us with business, which I think, that's why we're all here in this company together, right? Because of our business. So, Okay. So then we come to our mission, right? The KW mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And so when you look at this list, how do you feel, right? Actually, all of our KW systems, tech, training, models, all of it is literally designed to support this mission. So to all of you on the call, if any of these things are what you want, do you want to build a career worth having? Do you want to have a business worth owning? Do you want a life worth living? Then I want to say to you, we are here to support you as KW as best as we can with all that we have. So I just wanted to give this encouragement to you all. And I hope, I hope that this does help you feel more encouraged. Yeah, so with that, we have an exciting call for you today, guys. I'm really excited about our guest, like the most excited ever. We have Mr. JP Lewis, Vice President of Keller Williams Worldwide, who is right now in Austin, Texas, preparing for a big event. So hello, JP.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, very good, very good. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for giving your time. I know this is something we won't get very often, right? To get to see you face to face for a whole hour. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy to be here. I wish I could be more often. It's so hard when we're spread out so many places, but it's also so inspiring that KW has grown in so many places around the world, almost 60 countries, including the United States and Canada. So hopefully many more in the coming months.
Yes, awesome. Okay, to start with, can you tell us, because I think not everyone on the call will know who you are, what you do. Can you tell us exactly what do you do in Keller Williams Worldwide?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, for those that don't know, I'm JP Lewis or John Paul. Everyone calls me JP. I'm your vice president for KW Worldwide. I work with our president, Bill Soderoff, who helped other franchise systems and KW grow into over 100 countries around the world. My job is to support Bill in executing his vision for taking KW outside of the United States and Canada to over 100 countries and 100,000 associates, on top of the 2 countries of Canada and the United States that Gary Keller started back in 1983, and the almost 175,000 agents there. So collectively, our job is to essentially get Keller Williams to almost 300,000 associates around the world and 100 countries. So my job is to support the team. And we have an 11-person team, plus our partners at KWRI that deliver the training, coaching, and technology tools, systems, and models to all of our regions around the world. And we want to support them in supporting all of you as agents, as market center leadership, and of course, as regional teams in every market that we're in. So my job is to make sure that the team is delivering on that in every way that we can.
Awesome. Sounds like quite a big portfolio of things that you have to look after. That's great though. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been at KW for almost 20 years. And so I find it very rewarding because I know how much value there is here over our 40-year history. Not that we need every tool that's been in existence in Keller Williams, but many of them are so valuable in markets as we grow. So I'm very passionate about it because I know how valuable they can be and how they have been in my life.
Wow, that's amazing. 20 years. That's amazing. That's really cool. That's exciting. Okay, as you know, we have a lot of questions to get through. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just jump in. So let's just actually talk about, the big picture. I think many of us in Malaysia have experienced big shifts in the market since COVID. And we know there are also shifts happening around the world. Can you share with us, and since you have this experience, you mentioned of the 60 countries and everything, what you see happening globally in the real estate market?
Yeah, it's an unbelievably massive time of change right now, right? We look at 4 major areas of the world, what we call Latin America, our Caribbean division. We look at Europe, Middle East, and Asia as one, or excuse me, Europe, Middle East, and Africa as one group, and then we look at Asia Pacific as a group. Not that you can put anyone in a bucket, but we try to at least organize it to make sense of everything that we're seeing happening. And one of the most fascinating things after COVID was to see how in every market around the world, I'll just call it human beings, all started transacting in real estate. Everybody went into lockdowns in almost every country. And after lockdowns ended, what we saw was an amazing explosion of people choosing to move and list or sell property. So that was one first trend that was kind of phenomenal to see, no matter what part of the world you were in. And then now in 2023, it's starting to change, almost like the global weather. It's almost hard to predict what's happening everywhere. But one of the things that is affecting real estate in most of the markets around the world are fall into a couple of categories. One in Europe especially, but it happens in every one of our areas of the world, and that is the war in Ukraine. So that's had a dramatic effect on Europe. And I know in some cases, in terms of importing goods, it's had an effect on Malaysia as well. So that's one major factor in the world, in the global economy right now. The other one is around government change. You mentioned an election. We've seen that in Cambodia recently and all over Latin America. There's protests happening in France. So when you have a major conflict like a war, or you have a major change in government or political movement like we're having in the United States, you can start to see impacts on the global or the local economy, which then it can affect the global economy. So we look at both of those. And so we're seeing that after COVID, when people started transacting, the world got back to the business of being the world, and you started seeing the market shift and change. In the United States, we have not seen the massive recession that we thought we were going into. Because the Federal Reserve or the Fed decided to raise interest rates at a rate that has allowed us to sort of soften the landing of our shift in our real estate market. But interest rates are more than double what they were. So obviously the real estate industry has been hit the most. But what's unique about this is that there's still a high price on most of our properties because there's a lack of inventory. So we have a combination of a lack of inventory and an increase in interest rates, which makes for this sort of strange shifting market that's not quite becoming a buyer's market. And in Europe, you're seeing some similar things with the interest rate going up there in tandem with the United States. And in Asia, it starts to get very different because of everyone's local market being so dramatically different based on what their government is doing and what they're reacting to it. So it's kind of like forecasting the global weather. But I will say that we're in an interesting moment of time where, as a real estate agent, the number one activity you could be doing in any market, especially markets of uncertainty, is to reach out to your database and talk to your clients and your contacts about how they need help or what their questions are right now in these uncertain times. You may not have all the answers, but just by reaching out, you're going to build your brand as the person they're going to think of if they want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate.
Wow, I love that so much. I like that. So just by being aware that as much as we might be feeling uncertain, our clients are probably feeling similarly uncertain. So we can use that as an opportunity to reach out and connect with them.
There's an interesting thing that Gary Keller has taught for 40 years now, and that is if you interview enough people, you become the smartest person in the room. The thing that holds us back is picking up the phone in the beginning because we feel like as professionals, we have to have all of the answers. And that's not true. A professional doesn't have all the answers. A professional knows what they know and knows what they don't know. And they simply agree to go find the answer if they can, because they always should be honest and deliver the truth. And just because you may not know the answer to a question doesn't make you non-professional. It just means you don't know the answer yet. And you can tell your clients, I don't know the answer to that yet, but I will be committed to come back to you with what I find out as I look into that. Because they may have questions about what's going on in the local market. And our job as their fiduciary is to go find that information out. So don't be afraid to interview as many people as you can just by reaching out to your database. It brands you as the agent of choice, and it actually makes you the smartest person in the room about what's going on in the market. Because if you talk to enough people, you'll know what sellers are thinking, what buyers are thinking. And of course, you'll be looking at property and you'll know what's going on in the local market.
Wow, very cool. Right. So you could, I mean, everyone who's listening, right, you could literally use this as an opportunity to call the people in your database and ask them how they're feeling about, the election, or how they're feeling about the change in interest rates, what are your thoughts? Just want to get, find out what's going on. That's quite a cool idea. I like that. Really good.
And we do the same thing for recruiting agents into our family, right? It's just a matter of reaching out and seeing what's going on with their business. Where do they want to be? Where they are now, identifying the gap. And then you interview enough productive agents in your marketplace, you'll know what the thinking is among agents in the marketplace, what they're looking for, most importantly, what their pain points are. And then we can look at our Keller Williams family and our toolkit and see, okay, how can I solve that pain? And then we work on that. Too many times we get excited about all the things we could talk about in Keller Williams, and that's not usually relevant to a lot of people. So we got to start where people are. And as an agent or as a team leader trying to grow your market center, interviewing people about what's going on in real estate in their world is a wonderful place to start.
Cool. So you hear that, guys? This is a great Yum Cha session question to ask. All right. JP, I'd love to know, what is KW's vision, for the future of real estate? I just think it's exciting that you guys literally are trying to do something globally, not just in one country. So I would love to hear how do you see the vision for the future of real estate around the world?
Oh, I love that. What's fascinating to me, I've been in KW Worldwide for over, I guess I'm going on almost 6 years now. That it's not that different. Yes, our markets are very different in terms of how transactions close and the industry and the way it's organized and even how agents work together or maybe don't work together sometimes. But what is the same is our humanity. As Bill Soderoff likes to speak to, people want to take care of their family, have a nice home, make sure their kids get a great education, do good work, earn enough money to enjoy this wonderful thing we call life, and of course honor our faith during all of that. All of that is universal truth. And in real estate, we have this amazing opportunity I never truly appreciated until I came to Keller Williams, that you get to be in that moment with someone when they're making one of the most important decisions of their life.
Hmm.
And so what's fascinating about that, can you guys still hear me okay? Sorry, my
Yeah.
friend was
Yeah,
getting down on
we
me.
can hear you, just couldn't hear you, but okay, good. Go ahead.
What's fascinating about that is that the vision of KW since the beginning, when we became this sort of interdependent market model, we actually still hold to that to be true. So to answer your questions very directly, we believe that real estate is a local business driven by the real estate agent and their local reputation and sphere of influence. Basically, it's a simple truth. We believe people do business with people that they know, that they like, and that they trust. And so when people choose a real estate agent, we know that there are many companies out there that have pushed their brand to say, we're known for this, or we have all the properties, or we're a developer and we can sell you the property. Yes, those things are all true. But at scale, human beings want to have a fiduciary who help them through that transaction. So if that is a fundamental truth, and I see no sign of it changing, then Keller Williams' vision is that real estate agents need to be empowered through training, coaching, and technology to build their business on top of ours. That's the fundamental concept of Keller Williams. We will always have a brand, we will always have tools, and we'll have market centers and offices. But what we're doing all of that for is for each and every agent to build their business on top of ours. That might be me by myself doing 4 transactions a year, or it could be me building an entire platform or team where I've got multiple agents working under me, representing my brand and my value systems inside the Keller Williams company. And so our vision is that that's the future of real estate, because agents have already shown us in the United States and many countries overseas that building a business and not just having a real estate job is the future of the industry. Because even with all the technology, real estate is hyper local. It's very specific street to street, and it changes in every market. So the local expert is at the top of our organization, no matter what company you're in. Some have accepted that, like Keller Williams, and built into it. And others, like the brand-centric companies that say the brand is the most important, they haven't learned that lesson yet. But eventually we'll all go there, because real estate is a hyper-local business.
Wow, thank you. So I hear you saying that this is an agent-centered company. The agent is, like you said, on top. And when it comes down to it, you're supporting the agents to be able to have that relationship with their clients so that the clients will know them, like them, trust them, and be able to so that they will be the preferred agent for them, basically.
Yeah. It's
okay.
like doctors, lawyers, or any accountants, or as we call them, certified public accountants, or CPAs in the United States. These are professions where most, at least in our experience, and I think internationally, people tend to pick their person and they want that fiduciary, which means basically that person they can always go to, who starts to know their history, their family. I mean, my doctor, I want my doctor to know me over the long period. I don't want a new doctor every few years. But in real estate, the only reason people don't go back to use their same agent they've used before is because as salespeople, we tend to think transactionally and we move on to the next person. When in reality, if we build a database, which is an asset that has value, and we work and nurture that database, we can have a career that really is built off of a select group of people who know us, like us, and trust us, and refer all of their family and friends to us. That's how the top producers do.
Amen. So good. So good. This is what we're trying to preach and ignite as well. So good. So good.
I just don't think that changes when we talk about the future of real estate. When you look at the United States, if you look at it as ahead of other markets, the top agents are showing you that's true, because they're building businesses bigger than our regions, our market centers, and even some bigger than KWRI in terms of their profitability.
Wow. Wow. That's exciting.
It's amazing to watch.
You know, it's the same for us too. Our top agents are getting, 90% of their business is repeat and referral, because they have that database. Yeah. So it's the same here. Very cool. It's a people are people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Can I ask, because I think I want to ask about mindset, because I think this is something that is also, it goes whatever culture to culture. We can get some inspiration. I love to ask people this question. What's the mindset you personally carry as, you carry out your work, you implement the vision around the world? Yeah. What's your mindset for this?
There's one that comes to mind that I've really gravitated towards over the last several years. And obviously, mindset's huge. You started the call with the mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. Number one, I would say Gary said a long time ago, and it opened my eyes, that we have a MVVBP, but he said, I don't get into business with anyone unless I know what their personal MVVBP is. Because if they don't know why they're here on earth, I don't really want to be in business with them. And what he was saying in a very direct way was basically everyone should have their own personal mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives figured out for themselves. And so I went on that journey and started building that out for myself. And it's evolved over time. So I think everyone's got to go sit down and say, why am I here? You know, why, if I'm Christian or if I'm whatever faith, what did my higher authority, what did my God put me here to do? And we have to all go on that journey ourselves. That will help you a lot with mindset. But more specifically, with being in Keller Williams for almost 20 years and being in this industry for what I consider will be my whole life, I read a book by Simon Sinek called Infinite Game recently, a few years ago, actually. And so I now carry a mindset of I'm playing an infinite game. I'm playing a game that is infinite. It has no end, meaning, and if you read that book, you'll hear it more eloquently than I'm going to say it. But in short, we're playing a game where the goal is to keep playing the game. The goal isn't necessarily to win. Of course, we're going to have wins and losses along the way, but the ultimate goal, the higher goal, is to be able to keep playing the game. And when you look at someone like Gary Keller, there are people that come and go into Keller Williams. They come and go into the industry, but he's what I call a lifer. He's playing an infinite game. This is an amazing business, an amazing industry. He's doing things that not only grow KW, but also help grow the industry and realtors at any level and real estate agents around the world. And I consider myself in that group now. No, not that I'm in the same group as Gary, but I absolutely see myself. And now my wife has joined our company, and I see my kids probably joining this company, or I could see a pathway for them being in real estate. And I'm not saying that's for everybody, but one thing I have decided is that if you're going to be in this business, you do have to decide, am I playing what am I driving this towards? Is there a goal and then I'm going to retire and sell my business, or am I playing this for the infinite game? And for me, I love teaching. I love coaching. I love what this company's taught me, and I want to give it back. And so I'm playing the game to keep playing. And so for me, my mindset is always, no matter what happens, no matter what challenge I face, it's okay, what's next? I accept reality, the market has shifted, or that person left, or I had to make a decision I didn't like, or that investment deal went bad. Whatever happens, I accept reality, I acknowledge it, and then I decide, okay, what's next? Because I can't stop. I just refuse to stop. So when you know you're not going to stop, then you know, okay, let's just get on with getting on and figure out how we're going to deal with that. Because top producers, top performers in any industry, research will show you that it's about how quick they can recover, how quick they can jump back into the act of doing to the benefit of others, not just for money. That's what top performers tend to rely on when tough things happen, because none of us are immune to very difficult things happening. So I try to lean into this infinite game mindset, if that makes sense.
Wow. That's very deep. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think just a lot of the things you said are speaking to me personally, and I think would probably help us in our current challenges in Malaysia. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. There's two books that Simon Sinek wrote that I would recommend everybody read, no matter what your role. And the first one is Simon Sinek, his last name spelled S-I-N-E-K. He wrote a book called Start With Why. That's an excellent book about, again, beginning with why are we even doing this? And then telling the world why we do what we do. That's how Apple and many other great companies have built such wonderful brands, is because we're all clear on why they're doing it. And then we learn about what they do and how they do it. But then this next book he came out with called Infinite Game really helps you understand how to think differently about competition and what you're striving for. And I just love them both. I think they're really helpful for leadership, especially.
Cool. Thank you. All right. Yeah, let's move on. So I want to ask you about trends. Yeah, what trends do you see happening globally in terms of, how properties are transacted and how agents run their businesses? Yeah, love to hear what you've noticed.
Both in all, not both, really all four markets, but especially in parts of Asia and Europe, and definitely in the United States. We're starting to see it in Latin America as well, but at least what rises to the top, because we can't see everything, but we do see a lot that comes forward. But basically, the trend of teams continues to show up more and more, meaning as the world gets used to technology and speed of information and getting answers or support quickly, real estate agents, the trend I see most, are starting to realize that we can do more business and deliver better customer service by working in teams. And this shows up in very casual ways where people co-list properties, or, oh, you show the property and I'm going to work with the client. And then they naturally form into groups. And so that's kind of how I see that trend going. So I think that's going to continue outside the United States and Canada as well. And for me, I would say beyond that, you're going to start to see a trend towards lead generation, meaning those that have mastered lead generation, after they've mastered really running and organizing a team, they have then taken those teams and gone even beyond their own local markets. So that's going to take a while before we see that in many, many markets, but real estate agents who have mastered building a database, feeding it systematically, communicating with it, and really servicing the leads, those laws of the database, that one thing has led them to not only building agent teams, but now being able to show other people who have built teams or maybe are on their own how to do it in their local city, even though they're in a different part of the country. Does that make sense? So what that tells us is, again, real estate is local. The producing agent who masters lead generation, lead follow-up, and how to build their database and nurture it is going to have the opportunity to choose where they want their business to go. The agent that doesn't do that doesn't build their own database and outsources their lead generation to portals or even their own brokerage to do 100% of their lead generation for them, will just have less choice. That's not a bad thing. Some people have wonderful businesses paying for leads from portals or from their brokerage, but they're not going to have as much opportunity in the margins of their business, the profit of their business, to build out the way they want. And that's the vast majority of our agents in the United States. That's a wonderful, perfectly fine business. But if we're talking about trends, it tells me that, again, real estate being hyper local, that agent that knows how to capture leads for that local market, whether it's buyers coming in or people selling their property, the one that masters that masters the rest of the parts of the transaction. So said differently, she who controls the leads controls the industry.
Love it. Love it. Wow. Okay. So yeah, it comes down to that lead generation, that skill of being able to get leads from your own database. But then you mentioned that there's that trend now to work in teams, because I guess it's probably difficult to do all of that at a high level and follow up and do everything as quickly as what's expected nowadays. Was that what you were saying?
Yeah. In short, agents, we're great salespeople. We love selling, but the problem with that is that doesn't always translate to great management and operations,
right?
Or maybe not a desire to do that. So all you're seeing is, as real estate industries, especially in the United States, have gotten more advanced, top producing real estate agents who do learn those skills are offering that as value to other agents. That's all I'm saying. And so that's a trend. You have some really wonderful platforms as part of Reitfield and the KW Malaysia team. In the future, if they continue their journey, they may be able to offer that value to other parts of the country. That's all that really means.
Right. That's exciting. Yeah, we could provide that lead gen thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about technology? I'm just curious. What have you seen in terms of technology, the trends and the changes globally?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Can you just hold 1 second, guys?
Yeah, sure. No problem. Yeah. Are you guys getting value from this conversation? I feel like this is pure gold coming out of JP's mouth. Anyone, feel free to just put your ahas when you hear those lines, because I'm feeling like we have to go back after and get a transcript and then just quote JP, right? So if you if you guys could help me and just like highlight those great lines and put it in the chat, it will be awesome. All right.
Mariah, I apologize. I have to go off camera a little bit. They're kicking us out of this location, so I apologize. I didn't know that was going to happen, but I'm still good to chill chat if that's okay. They're just forcing me to leave this location. I apologize for that.
Okay. So, all right.
All right. So I'm going to go off camera, but let's keep the questions coming.
Okay, I get it. Off camera, but still on. All right. So yeah.
Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. It's exciting, guys. This is exciting. This is an adventure we're having today.
These are the craziness of Mega Camp. It always is. So my apologies for that. But yeah, fire away, Mariah. This is awesome. I love this conversation.
Okay. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about technology. What do you see happening, like the trends in technology and how things are changing around the world?
Well, the thing that we're seeing is that, again, kind of going back to this point about lead generation and portals and such, is that there's a race to try to become, when it comes to technology, the company of choice for basically becoming a platform. Portals are racing to do it. And of course, brokerages like Keller Williams are doing it with our own efforts, like Command and so on. But basically, all it means is we know that the platform that can create a singular place where a client can go through the transaction, not only the search, but also the actual transaction. And of course, maintaining and managing their home. That's the future of the industry. And so that is really where we see this going. And so the portals, like the big one in the United States called Zillow, and probably the ones you're seeing locally, are all trying to build that. Most of the portals are going through that by trying to dominate search, meaning if we're the destination for search, then agents or clients will come here and we'll have the keys to the castle for what clients or what agents and clients want. Keller Williams has the largest real estate army in the world. And so we're leaning into our agents being the source of that. And of course, giving them not only excellent search, but really an amazing platform to help connect with their clients online, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So again, it comes down to that lead gen thing. So how that's taking shape in the tech world. There's a question here in the chat. I'm just curious, what is the common split that you mentioned? Okay, you mentioned about agents maybe or teams being able to offer leads, right? Or market centers offering leads. What is the common split to provide leads to agents? Assuming we are only...
The most common split?
What do you see?
In the United States specifically?
Yeah, well, just whatever you are aware of. Yeah, what do you see in terms of percentage?
Oh, yeah. Well, in our company for the longest time, we did 70-30 split, meaning 70% to the agent and 30% to the company. Am I speaking the right terms in terms of split?
Yeah, for a lead, right?
Yeah.
If you
70%. Oh, well, and so that was our model for a long time. And we ran a pretty interdependent model, meaning that the agent was really being taught how to lead generate, and Keller Williams wasn't investing directly in lead generation ourselves. When we started lead generating, like we have these last few years, even our market centers are doing that, or you've seen mega agent teams do it for years, it's traditionally a 50-50 split, meaning 50% to that agent that was receiving the lead and 50% to the team that was providing it. The reason for those higher splits is obviously the cost of marketing and lead generation needs to be covered. So in Keller Williams market center models, when we were running a split cap, which most of our market centers still do, you're seeing that we couldn't afford to offer the lead and cap the income. So mega agent teams have always been our answer to say, oh, if you want leads provided for you, we have wonderful agent teams in our company that you can join. Today, you're seeing market centers in the United States actually see an opportunity to build lead generation and turn those leads over to agents for a 50-50 split. Very different than the split cap model that we've been running, but it's perfectly appropriate for a market center to offer that, because not every agent wants to go build a business or even do lead generation for themselves. They're willing to pay those higher splits to have the leads provided to them.
Right. Yeah. Then you were saying that a lot of agents just do that. They're willing to pay for the lead and they're able to have like a good little business going for themselves. So it's appropriate for them.
That's exactly right.
Okay. So let's just come down to Malaysia. As I had someone asked me to ask you this question: how would you benchmark Malaysia against the global or nearby regional competitors? You know, in this whole industry. Yeah.
Well, I would say, one of the most exciting things about this group of leaders that we have running KW Malaysia is our learning-based culture that they brought in. Right now, Keller Williams has always been extremely learning-based, but one of the most amazing things about David and Serene, Christine, Mariah, and all of you is how learning-based they've been. I mean, Refield's been in existence for over 20 years. I think it was almost 30 years before they
Almost
found
40,
KW.
almost 40.
40, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
unbelievable longevity,
Right.
unbelievable. And that's not common in real estate. People
Mm.
get in and out of the business all the time. But what David and his team have built is so stable and solid in terms of this team, that to see it come into a new organization that was also stable like KW, it just doesn't happen. We don't see conversions or joining of two brands like that very often, especially in real estate. And so that was one of the most sort of eye-opening things for us, was like how much this team in particular is learning based and always adapting and changing to deliver as much value as they can to their associates. And so that was one of the most amazing things that we've seen in terms of benchmark. I'd say across all of our worldwide regions, that puts Malaysia at the top in terms of willingness to change and adapt and be engaged in what the next trends are in the real estate industry. I mean, just look at the questions you're asking me. That's a perfect example.
Right.
And so that's where I would put it. In terms of the market, obviously, just like all of us, you're dealing with markets that go up and down, and agents that are trying to figure out the best way to build a business and a career for themselves. So it's hard to judge because everybody's in a different place. But for such a strong team to be always adapting and evolving and putting on the type of events and training that you do, not to mention the focus on technology, I'd put the KW Malaysia team at the very top.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel very, 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 very happy to hear this.
Well, it's an honor to be in business with you guys. And we all go through changes and we all go through difficult markets. And yet the way you approach it, the culture of your organization, many teams are building their own culture from scratch. And of course, they're using Keller Williams as part of that new team to help create a foundation. But to come in with your own culture and have it be such an alignment with KW's culture, but also still becoming its own thing, that doesn't happen when a leader isn't open to new ideas or when they're not willing to change and adapt for the benefit of everybody. That's playing the infinite game. A perfect example is David Ong or Gary Keller. Both could have gone and retired a long time ago, but they're not. They're building this for the benefit of everybody. And so that tells you, okay, they're working for a different reason. They're not working, or else they would have stopped a long time ago when they had enough money.
Right. They have their big why quite clearly set for their.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's encouraging. Yeah, I mean, even myself personally, when I came into KW, I was reflecting that I feel I have grown more. I've been here for 1.5 years, and I have grown more in 1.5 years than I did in the past 10 years of my life. Just because of the culture, like this mission, vision, values, the books, the training. I've been so inspired and like a different way of thinking and doing life. It's powerful.
Exactly. Yeah, I've experienced the exact same thing.
Okay.
Totally understand.
I want to ask, sorry, your sound has been cutting in and out. I'm wondering if you could change to maybe a different internet. I don't know if that will help, or if there's anything you can do.
Yeah, let me try.
Okay. All right.
Sorry about that.
No problem. I'll give you a second. Yeah. So hopefully
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, that sounds good. All right. So we've been talking about, just now you were mentioning that, every region, obviously every country is going to have a different strengths and challenges, and even, locally there's going to be differences. What are the most common factors that you see in top producing agents globally? I mean, you mentioned earlier a little bit about that, but if you could expand, on the top producing agents.
Yeah. Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah.
So Obviously, in sales, assertiveness, even aggression can be a pretty common theme that we see. In the cases where top salespeople don't have a natural aggressive or assertive behavioral style, you do see them surround themselves with mentors, coaches, or a tribe of fellow producers that do operate that way. Or they hire people to their business that can help them with that. Because obviously moving quickly, making decisions.
Oh, I think you cut out.
Aggressively can be a
Oh,
huge avenue can be seen. So if it's not natural, oh, that's okay. Can you hear me now?
yeah, I think it went out but came back in. Yeah,
Okay, so sorry about that.
it's all right.
So that's one of the most common themes that we see in real estate is that trend among top producers. But obviously, we've talked about this a lot, so I won't be too repetitive. But it's that commitment, that understanding that lead generation drives their business.
Mhm,
So through lead generation, they focus entirely on building a database, an asset that will have sustained value
mhm.
and nurturing and growing that database habitually, meaning every day without fail, not as a, oh, I need to get back to that, but every day in the morning when they have the most time and energy to devote to it, they focus on adding to their database and nurturing it, growing it, and then
Right.
working the leads that come from that. That's what really good top producers do. And when they master that one thing, the idea of focusing their business on taking listings, which doesn't happen in every market, I know, but that becomes step number two. And then, of course, as MREA teaches us, they've earned the right to then create leverage for themselves to scale their business. But
Oh,
they never let go of that lead generation component, if that makes sense.
I get it. I'm hearing it. It's all clarifying for me. So basically, you start with leads, right? It's leads. Once you master this skill of generating leads, you can move on to, or not move, I mean, you're doing everything at the same time, but then you master like taking listings, getting that exclusive listing. And then once you grow big enough, you can, or get to that higher level where you need to get help, you need to build a team, then you leverage and build the teams, as you were mentioning, is becoming more and more popular.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I get it. This leads, listing, leverage, guys. This is the order. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the book is not changed. That there's no shiny object that makes it easier. This is about the discipline of building your business. If I was a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, it doesn't matter. Lead generation drives all of our businesses, and real estate agents that understand that at a deep level build highly sustainable businesses. If they just learn that habitually, that's the one thing, and it never changes.
Right. So the things that change is going to be the technology and the way to achieve those goals. I guess that's where
Yeah, yeah,
the
and
creativity. Mhm.
that's why in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, there are lots of different ways to prospect for business and market for business. And we choose the options that are unique to us and our individual strengths and our local market and what the market conditions are. But the idea of habitually focusing on what drives our business, which is lead generation, that's what everyone needs to understand. But the shiny objects of how to do it, or maybe a new cool way to do it, or how technology changes it, that doesn't change the fact that we wake up every day and we think about it and we work on it. And then we get into the business of working in the transactions and in the business. But if you never work on your business, you're always working transaction to transaction or check to check, as we say.
Right. And there's not much stability in that. Right. Um,
Exactly.
I want to take this moment to just highlight Ignite for all those who are listening and you're hearing this and you're realizing, you want to get more skilled at lead generating and getting those appointments. And I want to invite you to come for Ignite this coming week. We have a module 3 on lead follow-up in Puchong. So later we'll send out a link for that. Yeah, so please, there's so much training and stuff available within our market centers here. Great. Yeah, on that note, JP, how would you say, how does KW help agents to be more productive and stay relevant? Like, what's KW's part in doing this? Mm.
Well, the easy way to say that is what we've been doing forever, and that's training, coaching, and technology. That's it. That's what we do. And so the way that we do it is to really first get agents to ask themselves the question of what does it mean to be relevant? Relevant to who? Big companies, brands that have gone around the world with a brand model in the past have said, hey, we'll make you relevant because everybody knows who we are. Everybody knows the Remax balloon, for example, or ERA or Century 21. What they're making relevant is the brand, not the agent. And that's because in our experience, human beings in any market around the world want to do business with people they know, like, and trust, like we talked about earlier. Therefore, the brand helps, but it's not the only thing. It's not even the most important thing. What we're trying to help agents understand is when you want to be relevant, you first have to decide who do you want to be relevant for. And that means deciding, where am I going to build my business? What local market am I going to be a business in? And every one of us have a database. It's in our phone, and we need to start purposefully working and building that database, following the 4 laws. So what we teach agents and how we help them grow and stay relevant is by helping them understand, number one, you have to build a database. Number 2, you got to feed it every day. You got to grow it. You can't be a secret agent. You got to go out there and tell people you're an agent and let people know. Meet them, which isn't most important. Take their information. Make sure you get a name, a phone number, an email address, and of course their home address if you can get that over time, but at least their name and phone number, and feed that into your database. And then of course it's important for them to know you're in real estate. But the way we let them know is that we communicate with it systematically. And we do that by every morning reaching out to people in our database in a systematic way. And then of course we service the leads that come in. That's the 4 laws of the database, right? Build it, feed it, communicate with it, and then service the leads that come from it. And it's really in that order. And that's what we do, is we become the company that kind of tells people to eat their vegetables. There's lots of shiny objects and lots of brands that will tell you, we're going to bring you all the leads, but that only works up to a certain point. The only way you truly scale the largest real estate company in the world is you teach all of the agents and give them the opportunity to build a business that they can then thrive with, that they can build on their own. If we're building it for every agent, then we're capping the opportunity of agents that want to build it on their own. And we're limiting those that don't even know what they want to do yet. But when we open the door and we say, we're here to support you, whether you want 1 deal a year or 1,000 deals a year, we can be that platform for you. That's what KW truly has become over 40 years. And it just depends on the local market on where we are on that journey. And in Malaysia, you've got some amazing platforms and teams, and you've got some individual agents that want to buy their leads from the brokerage or from a portal, and both things are wonderful.
Right. So good. I love that. So training, you're saying training is like the big thing where we will learn how to do the database. You mentioned the 4 laws of database and all these great nuggets. Besides training, what else? What else does KW really offer to help agents, be more productive?
Well, obviously we're very passionate about coaching, and coaching can happen at all levels, at the market center and through our MAPS coaching programs. But, and that's not training, right? That's more accountability and helping people, discover and self-discover where their challenges are, where their gaps are. On top of that, we have technology, and technology is designed to help agents build those databases and nurture them and follow the 4 laws like we talked about. It's also about processing the transactions and making sure the customer service systems are all there in place. Now, the interesting thing about technology is that, trying to build technology for everyone is extremely hard. And no one's won that race, and that race never really ends. But one of the things that we do is really try to help an agent, no matter whether they're doing a few deals a year or hundreds of deals a year, be able to use the system so that their world can get more leverage. Meaning, if you want to generate leads, the old way was, prospecting and marketing almost entirely on your own. And training can help you. And we're the best company in the world for that. We're award-winning, world-class training. But today, with Command and the platform that we built, the company that we've become today, we can actually help you with a few clicks of a button, generate leads off Facebook, Instagram, Google. These are all tools that are readily available that an agent that just wants to get a few transactions a year can easily use for low cost to actually build their business. And it doesn't have to be a huge lift. It's much easier today than it was, 10, 15 years ago, thanks to the technology that KW is building in-house.
Wow, so good. So we got the training, the coaching, and the technology. It's fantastic. Yeah.
And I would be remiss not to mention our culture. Obviously, the
Yeah.
community that we have, the network that we have, Keller Williams command system is now translated into 35 different languages, both for consumers and the agents. And you're connected to each other as the only company that's almost 200,000 or a little over 200,000 associates. So
Right.
there's a huge family here around the entire world, and that can be a huge asset as well. But more importantly, both locally and internationally, our culture is one of sharing and sharing for growing's sake, meaning agents are readily happy to, in our environment, to share what they're doing that's working for them. Even though we might be competing, so to speak, in the same local market, the
Mhm.
culture that we're creating in these market centers allows people to share and grow together.
Hmm. So good. So good. I know some agents have come in because they're amazed or attracted to the fact that it's a global company where it's in many countries. We have a chance to even do business with other countries. Can you just for this, I don't know if everyone on the call is aware of what countries in our region in APAC KW currently has a presence. Would you be able to, I don't know if you know all of them, but
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, we have KW Japan, KW Japan, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Philippines, and we were working on a few other areas as well. But gosh, I hope I haven't left anybody out.
Mongolia,
Um,
you still have, yeah.
Mongolia, yes, thank you,
Yes.
Mongolia, Otsrin and his team
Cambodia,
in Mongolia.
right.
And we're working on a few others that there's huge opportunity there.
Mm-hmm.
We're paused on in all honesty, we're paused on going into China right now just because of the relations challenges we have right now between the US government and the Chinese government. But not
Sure.
that there's significant problems there, but it's probably just not the best time to explore this. So we're not in China right now, but maybe in the future.
Yeah.
But there's some other exciting areas in the neighboring territories, including Australia, New Zealand, even Guam, and some of these other sort of outlying areas that we're exploring in the near future.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to be part of this. And I know some agents have been trying to make connections with, Japan or whatever to get that cooperation, and share clients
Yeah.
together. A lot of
And if
opportunity.
you're ever having challenges there, obviously everyone can reach out to me at any time, but also a great website to have available is kwworldwide.com. If you go
Okay,
there to kwworldwide.com, anyone that visits that site will see all of our regions listed out. And if you click on any one of those regions, you'll be able to get contact information for the regional team there. And you'll also see
great.
the areas where we don't have a KW yet that we're looking to expand. So great opportunity to refer talent into our team to help refer in the next regional OP, and that's a wonderful growth share opportunity for anyone.
Yeah. Guys, you hear that? If you know someone that's in real estate in another country that's not currently in KW, and you can get them on board, they might be the next OP, and you will really fly with your growth share. So good.
Yeah, not a bad opportunity.
Yeah. So good, so good. Yeah, we're gonna have probably another 5-10 minutes for us to talk, and then we're gonna go to announcements. So one question I really wanted to ask you, because I think you've been working with a lot of different regional teams around the world, you probably have a lot of experience. What are your thoughts or experiences with leadership change and transition? So I'm wondering if you have anything you could share with us, any wisdom for us as we're going through our transitions right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. In 20 years, I've seen a lot of change at Keller Williams, especially at Keller Williams Realty International, our headquarters here in Austin, Texas. I will say that, again, kind of like what I mentioned before about this infinite game, right? It's a coach a long time ago told me, asked me a question: how much does that change affect what you're doing on a daily basis? And it got me thinking about the real impact of things, because any change, especially if you're not a fan of change that you didn't want, or maybe that you didn't know was coming,
Hmm.
it can really challenge us and maybe feel overwhelming. So in my experience, I've had that when a leader like at KWRI that I was very close to left or departed, and maybe I didn't know entirely why. So I've gone through that at least a few times,
Right.
and you may have seen some of the information come out in the news about some of the leaders that we've had change and come in and out of the organization. That's going to be normal in any organization over any period of time, significant period of time. That's certainly a truth. But how we deal with it is going to be dependent on kind of like what you asked about earlier, Mariah, is our mindset. So for
Right.
me, when that coach asked me, how does that really change what you're doing on a day-to-day basis? It got very clear to me it didn't have a big change. In some people's world, it might have a big change, and others it may not. But for me, I had to get clarity on, okay, where does this change what I'm doing, and how do I need to respond to that? And
Yeah.
it was actually a lot less of a response than I needed. Right, I didn't have to change much of what I was doing. I might have got used to a new leader, or maybe had gone and asked questions, but I didn't have to like dramatically change what I was doing. So that helped me kind of clarify and make what felt like a big change really put it in its place that it wasn't the biggest change for me. And so that's one thing that's helped me when we've had CEOs change in and out,
Mm.
even recently, but also just knowing that when I look at people like Gary Keller or some of the people that have been in real estate in our organization, like I mentioned David earlier, or Emre in Turkey, or some of the folks that have been building businesses in real estate even before KW for decades, I start to realize what's my career going to be about, and where do I want to build a lifelong career. And obviously, I made the decision to do that in real estate a long time ago. And then I struggled with the idea of people that come in and out of my life. And while I love them and will always have them personally in my life, they may not be with KW anymore. They may not be in my KW office anymore. And so I
Mm.
had to realize, okay, that's going to happen. There's nothing I can do to stop it. Business is going to move forward, and people are going to choose to come in and out of real estate or in and out of KW. And so for me, I just had to really start to go, okay, well, I can still continue. I can still love everybody I'm working with and love this business, and acknowledge that over a long period of time, that's going to be my reality. It's going to be painful, but it's
Right.
going to be my reality, because if you're going to be in any industry for a long period of time, that's going to happen. And I think about Gary a lot in these moments, because I imagine the people that have come and gone in his life and in his business, and how challenging that must be. But when you're playing that infinite game, when you're building something that's bigger than yourself, and you're truly
Mm.
trying to leave a legacy like he's trying to do, and as our mission statement says, it's kind of as he says, it's onward, right? We got to move forward for the
Mm.
greater good of everyone that is building their businesses and their lives off this organization. So not one person or one change can change all of that. We have to carry on as a team, and everyone's invited to be with us and move forward with us. And yet not everybody will always stay with us, and that's okay.
Wow, it's really good. I like
That's
that.
how I think about it, and
Yeah.
especially the last few years for us.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I like what you just said about, the reality of setting your expectations that people are going to come and go. Like that's just a fact. So we shouldn't be
Yeah.
shocked, or like overly shocked and surprised and disappointed. Like it's just going to be something we have to face. And then how do we want to face that? And the reality of how much does it actually affect our business and our lives and our day-to-day decisions?
Yeah. I've had a lot of friends leave KWRI in the last 10 years, and I struggled with this, quite honestly. Like, oh my gosh, am I in the right environment? Should I be thinking about doing something different? What should I be doing? And
Right.
what I had to do was look at the environment itself, and look at the leaders that stayed, and look at the leaders that are continuing forward, and ask myself, are we still on that same mission? Am I still in alignment with this? And I
Mm.
very clearly am. And so that's when I realized, okay, this is about growing up in the organization. I started in KW in my mid 20s, and not that I wasn't a mature adult, but sometimes in your 20s you're kind of still a kid, and I hadn't experienced some of those things. And so today I look back and I go, wow, I'm so happy that I have a better perspective on it, because it doesn't diminish my love for those individuals. I still call many of them my friends, and I see them
Right.
continually, but our relationship has changed.
Mhm.
And so as long as I'm confident that I'm in the right organization and we're all moving forward on the mission, and that hasn't changed, then
Yeah.
I'm all in. If that ever changes, or if my leaders around me aren't really transparently with me on that journey, then I would take issue. But until I see that change, I'm all in on KW and the journey that we're on together.
So good. So good. Yeah, that's how I feel too. Just I feel like KW provides such a strong structure, like I mentioned at the beginning, right? That the values, the vision, the mission, it gives us something to hold on to, that whatever's shaking us, we have something to go to give us a direction and clarity. Yeah, and to remind us, do I want to be a part of this or not? And probably the answer will be yes when we go and read it again. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
good. So
And I
good.
know you guys are going through big change, and I love everyone involved. And change is always hard. So these are the kind of right things to be working on as a leadership team. And so I applaud you guys for leaning into it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah. Okay, so all right. So everyone on the chat, are you getting some value from here? If you feel that you received something from JP, do you mind to just put a 1 in the chat, or you can also write in what you're receiving. It will be great. We would love to see everyone just put a 1 in the chat so we can just encourage JP that he's giving us something that we really appreciate, as I think you all probably receive something that's going to help you in your mindset and your thinking for the future. I appreciate that, guys. Yeah, so with that, we're going to go to announcements before, and then we'll come back to have a last words with JP. Okay, we have a lot of announcements today, guys. It's a lot, so please bear with me, but they're really important. There's one particular announcement that's very important. All right, so we have right now, it's coming up. Mega Agent Camp is starting. It's live. Tuesday night is a time that you can tune in at 9 p.m. Malaysia time and hear the economic update with Gary Keller. So you have, there's a link here you can connect to. We'll put it in the chat. And there's also the cultural summit that's coming up on Thursday at 3 a.m. for those night owls or those who are recovering from jet lag for some reason, or has babies that wake up in the night, whatever. You can come on and come and hear Mark King, our president, to come and talk about and inspire. It'll be very inspiring. So recommend that session as well. All right, next one. Next slide. Okay, so our Ignite class, if you want to, I mentioned it earlier, if you want to come and do learning, there's a link here. Next slide. This week is module 3, lead follow-up. So it's everything about how to follow up with lead and get that appointment, and qualify potential buyers. So please come. It's free for you guys. It's very good value. So I hope you all can join us in Reedfield Puchong. Okay, next slide. So KW Cares, yes, we have an event on 22nd August coming up. Oh, sorry. Sorry, 23rd August, next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, the following Wednesday, 10 to 12. There's going to be credit counseling and debt management. So this is also available to you for free, a great session for you to learn more and get peace of mind for yourself. So I hope you can sign up for this one. Limited to 40 packs, so it will probably fill up, guys, so you better sign up quickly. All right, next one, also from KW Cares. So if you or your qualifying family, you or a family member are struggling financially due to unexpected situations, something, serious crisis that's come to you, please do reach out. We can assist you. We have a system now. We have funds available. This is something that we provide to everyone in KW Malaysia. So you can use the QR code or click on the link to apply for a grant. All right, next one. All right, so this is for Flagship Market Center this week. So today, we do not have the Daman Mall for event because it's a public holiday. I didn't even mention that, right, this morning. It's a public holiday today, but we are here for you guys. Yeah, but anyway, that event is closed and there's no session tomorrow for the tech session. However, the auction workshop is on Tuesday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. It's an online one on Zoom, suitable for everybody. Bring your guests. This is a great thing if you have not checked out the auction stuff yet. All right, next one. Next slide. Yeah. Okay. So we also have, of course, we have our coach. The Flagship Market Center has a coach, Roland Tan, who's great. He's been doing so well. I just talked to him the other day. All his rookies are making progress. So if you want to come for a career preview with him or sign up for his sessions, you should contact him. Also on Thursday this week, we have our Power Hour with George Tan. They're going to be talking about your value proposition. This is super important that you be able to communicate your value to all of your database and your potential clients. All right, and then additionally, we have our CDP renewal coming up for 2024 in Flagship. And this Thursday also, after George's session, we have Winnie doing some tech stuff on with our KW agent site. So hopefully you can come for that as well if you're in flagship. All right, next slide. This is the big announcement, guys. Some of you have been probably waiting like forever, like a year or something for this. Project Open Day is happening. Project Open Day, it's happening at Flagship Market Center, but it's open to everyone, okay? Everyone. If you're a rookie, if you've never done projects, if you're in Puchong or Flagship, if you're listening on this call, you're not even a part of KW, you can come. I got personal, I was told I can invite you, okay? You're all invited. So this is next Tuesday or the one after? Tuesday, wait, go back. 29th August, Tuesday. It's gonna be at Flagship Market Center. This is your chance to finally see all the projects that are available in all of Greenfield. It's a great event, so please RSVP about this. 大家来, mari semua. Please, everyone come. We want to see everyone come for this. All right, next slide. Okay, so Refill Puchong, we have their event today, right after this call. I'm glad you guys are probably already there. They have some awesome stuff. So if you're not on the way, you should get in the car right now and drive over to Puchong if you're there, if you're part of Puchong, all right? They have a tax lawyer and MIEA president to talk about important stuff that will affect your life, all right? Okay, next one. We have the last few slides. Yeah, they also have career talk and a coaching program in Puchong. So if you're in Puchong, you can contact Ray Chua for that. Every Thursday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. is their career talk. Okay, I think there's just a few more last ones, right? Yay! All right, my favorite, KW 360. Let's go, guys. 68 ringgit. You can make your listing pop, listing stand out there, really provide value to your clients for such a cheap price. You get someone to come in and do an amazing 3D video of the whole property. It's fantastic. So hope you sign up for this. Okay, next one. Yeah, and then we have data labs, 49 ringgit a month. It's all of the transaction data for the whole region of Malaysia. So really, this is such a cheap price. I hope everyone can sign up for this. It's what you need to be able to show yourself as a market real estate expert, of your area. Okay, and the last slide, I think, is on KW Activate, right? Our WhatsApp tool. It's so much more, though. We have so much services provided in there, 199 ringgit a month to be able to send out, thousands of messages every month. And you get a 14-day free trial for first-time user. Okay, so that's the end of our announcement today. Yeah, so let's come back. Thank you, guys. It only took like 8 minutes. All right, JP. Yeah, I just want to ask if you have any, final words of advice or encouragement that you'd like to leave our listeners with today.
Oh, man. I think the thing that makes this company so great is its people, period, full stop. The people that are in this organization have made Keller Williams so much more amazing than even Gary Keller could have envisioned. And that's the promise and the opportunity of a company like this, is that it's not about us. It's not about Gary or even individual leaders in each of our regions around the world. It's about a flipped organization that says the people we serve are at the top of this organization. So I just encourage each and every one of you as agents or as leadership in any capacity that you're playing in this business to include others and to be open and sharing, because that's what continues this on. That's what helps us achieve that mission. So what that looks like to me is as agents, knowing that when you reach out to your database, you're not bothering people by asking them who they know that might want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Or if you really want to build opportunity, asking people who's ever thought about a career in real estate, because you can ask all 4 of those questions and be doing it and delivering it from a place of value and authenticity and even love to a certain degree, because this is an amazing organization and I've gotten to be a part of it for half of its life, and I can fully intend to be here for the next half. And I couldn't encourage you more to do that. As a leader, we have the greatest gift in the world, which is to invite people into a real estate career and maybe even a real estate business in these different markets around the world. And so that's a precious opportunity. I encourage each of you to lean into it. And also when you're talking to people about their real estate careers, do it from a place of authenticity and care, where we may not need to tell them everything we have, but if we could ask them genuinely what's going on in their business, where do they want to be compared to where they are, maybe we can close those gaps with one little tool or one class or one call that we can invite them to be a part of. Because if there's one thing all human beings want, is we want to know that we belong somewhere. And if there's one thing KW Malaysia is great at, and your founders and your leadership team have been great at for a long time, it's that making people feel that they belong and being inclusive. And so I just encourage you to continue what you're doing. It's makes you one of the top regions in Asia Pacific, and as well as all worldwide, is the culture that you've created. And that existed before KW. It's not because of us. I hope to think that we enhanced it, because you're definitely enhancing us. So I just want to say thank you for all of you for doing that, and also encourage you as you go to not stop. Reach out to your database, reach out to your network, and invite people into this conversation, because it really is valuable. And you're not selling somebody on something, especially when you come from curiosity and you lead with great questions. You're helping people understand they can belong here and that there's a home for them, especially our real estate agents around the world. So thank you for letting me share a little bit. I really appreciate it. And anything I can do to help you guys along the way, please let me know. And I'm so sorry I had to change locations to be off camera, but I am sending you all my love from the US.
Thank you so much, JP. I really appreciate everything that you shared and taking the time to answer all my questions that came from us. Appreciate that. And before we go, I just want to again reiterate to everyone on the call that, we are really, as JP said, we are here to serve you guys. We want to provide the training, the support, the technology, the systems and models, the coaching, whatever it is that you need. We want to be there for you, to provide for you so that you can be the best that you can be, right? And you can run the business, have a business worth owning, right? And have a life worth living. So we want to encourage you all that we're here for you. And please reach out, please sign up, please come for the events and be a part of us. Yeah. And an invitation again to anyone who's not part of us, probably, you can feel free to come and reach out and join us. We would love to have a conversation with you. Okay, with that, I will wish all of you a fantastic week. We are moving onwards, guys. Let's go onwards. Let's move forward. It's fantastic. So goodbye to everyone, and we will see you next week. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you again. Take care, everyone.